Hold up, we got hostile activity.
What is up, guys? Goose Games here, and welcome back to Ghost Recon Wildlands closed beta. I've been playing the hell out of this beta, and I absolutely freaking love it. It's been such an immersive experience into a type of special operations deal. And I really like that. The whole special operations feeling of the game is very, very nice and crisp and works real well. With all this really cool, really neat content that they packed into this beta, I can't wait for the full version. And that's mainly because I feel like this game right here, the content that I played, is just mind-blowing. And I can only expect it to get better. And I know I'm setting expectations for it, and I try not to do that. I try not to set high expectations for any game, or low expectations for any game. I try to just play it, or check someone else. Check someone else's channel and play and watch them play it. But this one, I would have definitely been PO'd if I hadn't gotten the chance to try this one out. It's very, very, very cool. I'm gonna say that a lot. One of the neat things about it is how well they did AI. And AI was it's very realistic.
Sniper,
the way that they
top of the tower. Target down.
The way that you get spotted or you don't get spotted, but you can stay in cover, is very immersed, because whether you use a ghillie suit or you use tactical gear like what I'm using, it all plays into how you get spotted or how they look at you, and it all has an effect on your gameplay, and I really like that. The immersion pieces of it are still a little bit like, I'm just getting into the immersion. I don't know what it's like to be a special operations person, but I can only imagine it's something like this. And it's been a great experience for me. I've enjoyed it a lot, and I'm still enjoying it. Yep,
frag out.
Grenade. I'm doing this, obviously. I'm not doing a pre-recorded thing. I'm recording this as I'm playing, so I will get distracted in this video. So, let's talk about gunplay. I was afraid that gunplay was going to be, difficult to deal with, seeing that you have to switch between third person to first person. When I realized you don't. So for anybody out there who doesn't like switching from third person to first person and wants them to just stick to third person, you can do that like this. Also, I have to say, I do like switching from third person to first person better. And many of you may know that because you've seen me play Metal Gear Solid. And Metal Gear Solid has always been one of my favorite games. The old one, any one of them, because from old to new, they've always impressed me. I obviously am young, and I didn't play them as they went along. My first one that I played was 4, and that one blew my mind. I played them out of order. I played them in a very sloppy style, but I loved the gameplay from them. And that's what the gunplay feels like to me in this game. Is a lot like Metal Gear Solid. Any of the Metal Gear Solid games. As for free roam, it's a lot more open than any other game that I've seen. I've never seen anything quite like this, where you can take a tactical approach from any way that you think that is necessary, and that goes back into the immersion thing, is planning and things like that. planning is a very important part of this game. You have to make sure that you know what you're doing before you go in and do it, because if you don't, you could get killed easily. Trust me, I've been killed quite a bit in this game. Mainly by cars, and I'm gonna say that right now. Beware of unhappy civilians who don't like your presence in the game, because they will run you over. They will not fear you as much as they will kill you. And that's a fact. Believe it, because it's absolutely true. As far as other aspects of the game, I've enjoyed a lot of sniping. That's just me. A lot of people might not like the sniping in the game, but I really like it. Wind and movement, and the movement of your enemy, I mean, and range and distance all has an effect on how you snipe. There's bullet drop, there's scope sway, and a lot of other aspects that are going to make this game very immersive into the gunplay. And there's recoil, realistic recoil with some weapons, and unrealistic with some. Like if you shoot a Mach-10, you can fire it without any recoil, which I hope they fix, because that's completely unrealistic. But other than that, other than the recoil, I feel like the gunplay is very smooth, very crisp, and very realistic. It's very, very well done. Onto the movement of your character, as in walking, running, anything like that.
Going on menu.
It's very different from any other game. It feels loose, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's something new to me. Like, it's not completely different from things like maybe Sniper Elite, and that's what I'm going to compare it to. Is that it is a lot like the movement in Sniper Elite, where you can sprint, of course.
We're gonna look around here for
crouch, and you can go prone. I know that's not Sniper Elite's not the only example to compare that to, but it's the one that comes to mind because of how they did the gunplay in the game. The way that you take cover automatically as you go up against things is a lot like Sniper Elite to me. I think that's the one that I'm probably going to compare it to the most because of like cover and running and sprinting and just the style of movement. As for vehicle, I'm going to I know I'm piloting right now in a helicopter, but I'm going to be focusing first on land vehicles. They're pretty difficult to control, I'm not going to lie, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, it's more immersive, because you can expect that driving through muddy or sandy or snowy climates is probably not going to be too good for handling on your vehicle. And that's exactly how it feels. Turns are a little bit difficult to do without drifting into something. It's very difficult to drive without crashing into something else. But that's just how it is. That's just what it's going to be like in those kinds of situations. As for flight, there are only a few vehicles that I know of that are going to be in the game that are going to be flight-related. They're obviously the helicopter and the plane. There's a couple of different helicopters, and as far as I've seen, only one type of plane. I'm not gonna say flat out that there's only one type of plane, because I don't know. There very well could be another type of plane. I just haven't seen one yet. It's kind of difficult to pilot helicopters in the game. To me, I haven't quite gotten the grasp of it yet. Like, the sway of the helicopter doesn't make as much sense to me, but that's okay. It doesn't have to make this game good for me. But the planes, I really like the plane flight. more so than Grand Theft Auto or War Thunder, if you want to compare it to that, or any kind of flying aspects in games, especially like things like Battlefield. I feel like things are just awful. But other, like, I know I'm going to compare it to a lot of different games because that's what reviews are supposed to be like. The flight mechanics, as like overall, it's very loose, but also in some ways a lot better than other games. It's definitely, absolutely a lot easier to crash into things. But another aspect is you're going to be able to carry a lot more people in these vehicles, and you can do a lot more with them. You can obviously, like the pilot has in some cases right here, miniguns, and there's side seats and inner seats to the helicopter. Going back to land vehicles, that's another thing. I want to demonstrate this. You can go, let me just take this. No, they're rebels, never mind, I can't take them out of their vehicle. But there are stationary weapons, such as grenade launchers and miniguns on top of vehicles. You can actually, in some vehicles, hide in the trunk and pop out and use your weapon out of the trunk, which I think is really neat. I'm going to demonstrate using this man's vehicle with side paneling doors. You can pop out of them like this and fire out like that. Obviously you're more exposed that way, but you have obviously open aim. The trunk thing that I was talking about, I don't know if you can fire. Yeah, this is one of the trunks that you can get in but you can't fire out of. There are trunks to some vehicles that you can get in and fire out of, which I really like. It's been a lot of fun driving around with friends, just tearing shit up from vehicles, any kind of vehicle that you're driving in. And I feel like you can turn any vehicle into a small tank if you really want to, just using the weapons that you have. This being I'm gonna get back into weapons. This being a Ubisoft game, they tend to use a lot of the same weapons in their games. One thing that I'm going to compare this to a lot, because of the tie-ins that they've made between the two games, because they're both Tom Clancy games, are Rainbow Six Siege and this game. A lot of names of weapons are the same. There's a lot of the same weapons in general that are in the two games. Some names of characters are the same. Like there's a cartel leader. One of the cartel leaders is named El Capitan, and if you know anything about Rainbow Six Siege, you know that Capitan is one of the characters. There's also weapons and things like that that are similar to things like The Division. And I'm not the gunplay. Gunplay is very different. Besides the obvious way to switch between weapons, that's the only thing that I think is like The Division in this game, is that you can switch between weapons the same way. If you want your two primary weapon, or your primary and your secondary weapon, which is my M4 and my MSR right now, you just hit triangle once. If you want to use your sidearm, however, you have to double click the triangle or Y button, or whichever key on your keyboard is the key for switching weapons. It's a lot like the Division in that way, but that is the only way that I see it like the Division. Mainly because in the Division you have classes of people and who have different health levels, who are very hard to kill, and you have to grind in the Division. And I do not think that's the same as in this game, because it's very, very different to me. I did not, like, I'm not going to say I didn't like the Division. I just would not go back to play it. I played it for about a month with Nate. I don't think we ever expanded beyond, you know, doing the main missions. We didn't really get into the dark zone or anything. We got about a month into the game. We both got to level 30, and that was it. We didn't stream or anything, or at least I didn't stream it, because I didn't feel like I was having enough fun at the time to stream it and make it, you know, a decent quality stream. And I've been roaming around this little area
He's history.
for a few minutes now, so I'm gonna try to show you what taking a base is like using stealth. Also, I'm gonna mention real quick, if you like goofing around with your friends, or having fun, or just blowing stuff up like crazy, this game is a game for you. If you like being tactical, stealthy, or loud and proud, whichever, and immersing yourself into a realistic type game, this is a game for you. The wide range of gamers that are going to like this game is going to be perfect for it. I feel like they accomplished something great with that, is that they're going to tackle a lot of different playing styles of different people, and that is absolutely something that I've seen a lack in recently. Things like Grand Theft Auto. Yes, you can follow traffic laws and take cover and only pop off rounds every once in a while, but you're not going to, because it's Grand Theft Auto. You can carry 10,000 rounds of ammunition for each gun that you have, and screw traffic laws, because why would you try? As for this game, where it's a practically lawless country and it's in the middle of its own civil war, there's no reason why you should be following any type of laws. It's very loose. Also, your special operations, you're trying to stay undercover as much as possible. So you're taking civilian and enemy vehicles, and that's all you're using, because there are no vehicles that are just at your disposal automatically. You have to find them, you have to learn how to drive them, and you have to have someone operating in each seat, because each seat will do something different for you. Like, the driver of an APC type vehicle cannot operate the gigantic gun on the top of the vehicle. You have to have someone else in that, and the vehicle play for that reason is very, very intriguing to me. I've had a lot of fun just getting lost in the gameplay of this game, in the realism and the goofiness in some aspects, like the way that there's the few glitches that I've seen have been absolutely hilarious to watch, and I've gotten a kick out of them, like watching a llama throw a car 10 feet in the air. I mean, come on. That's just, like, I'm not even mad about that. That was entertaining as hell to watch. As for the amount of glitches in the game, I've seen very little. Very little. In fact, so little that I almost didn't mention it in this review. But, you know, you have to find the nitty-gritty stuff. Not everybody will enjoy these glitches, but let me tell you something, you're not going to find a lot of them. So that's a good thing. Of a few other aspects of the game are,
We got civilians dangerously
you have
close.
to, there are,
Check your
like, you don't
targets
have
before
to
you
follow
shoot.
the story, but you can, and you probably should, if you want to get anything done, which is kind of the premise of the game, but you don't have to.
And baby
Once
makes
again,
3. Got eyes on a tango. He's got a lot of background.
the story, as far as I've seen, is, there's not much story to it. Yes, they call it story missions, but basically what you're trying to do is take down the cartel and the Unidad, which is a kind of like their own special forces, and try to liberate Bolivia, because it's a war-torn country, and it shows that real well. It is absolutely destroyed by
Tango
a lot
marked.
of
He's a little close to civilians.
It's going to be very difficult to isolate your enemies, it's going to be very difficult to. Yeah, you'll see in just a minute how difficult it is to isolate your enemies. It's going to be difficult to do a lot of this type of stuff, which is why you're going to have to do a lot of stuff at night. If you don't want someone to, you know, see what you're doing, when do you do it? You do it at night when no one's going to see you. Only problem is, it's not always easy. For example, taking out lights. If you don't do it at the right time, you might get spotted.
You're gonna get made. Hang back.
Sorry, I'm staying a little bit quiet for a minute. Just wanna.
That's a kill.
I'd hope it was a kill. He went down pretty hard. Nope, nope, nope. We don't want you walking over there because there are bodies. I know I'm gonna do kind of a walkthrough of this base, but right now I'm going to stop the review, not stop the video, but the review, because I want to just show you what it's like to take a base and how difficult it can be. So let's see over here. We have a lot of civilians in bases, and you have to be careful to distinguish the civilians from the enemies, because it can be difficult. And it's going to be difficult.
That's a kill.
Yo, eyes on the ground.
I don't see him.
Let's mark this one here. Here we go.
That's a kill.
This is where it gets tricky. I think they might have found a body.
We rattled somebody's cage.
That's a kill.
Oh. See, that's how it can be difficult. You're going to run into trouble sometimes. It's going to be very tight situations where you might not make it out.
They're coming this way.
And then,
We're clear.
sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. Like, it's very difficult to take things on your own in single player. Like right now, I'm not playing with friends, I'm playing with the AI. The 3 AI troops that are with me are very helpful though. The AI is very strong. When I say the AI is very strong, I mean your troops are very strong. Depending on what difficulty you want to play in. I mean, if you wanted to goof around and not die, you're going to obviously choose recruit. But if you want to goof around and try to get things done, you can try to do things in like ghost mode, but I would not recommend it, because if you're goofing around, you're gonna get killed. Ghost mode is mainly used when you are playing seriously and tactically, and you don't want to be spotted, obviously, or maybe you do, but you want to be taking cover and making things real easy for you to get killed, because that's just how things would be in a real immersive situation, like this one. I am just messing around at this point because there's no one else to kill. So I think that we're good to go. That's how, I guess, easy or hard it can be to take base. As you can see, I nearly got myself killed there a couple of times. That's just how it's going to be in these types of situations. Right now I'm playing on recruit, so I don't die in the middle of my Let's Play. This is going to be a short stream. I'm going to wrap it up in a couple minutes here, because I just wanted to show you guys how this game is, and it's very fun. I'm not going to talk against it because I love it. I absolutely love this game, and I can't wait for the full version to come out. I'm gonna enjoy the hell out of the last couple of days that I have using them, because I have school tomorrow for a couple hours, and I've got work today for like 5 hours, and then I've got the Super Bowl to watch tonight, so I don't have a lot of time to actually play this. And I'm gonna do another stream tonight, hopefully, after the Super Bowl is over. I know it's gonna be late, but you guys don't have to watch it live. Obviously, you can watch it in post. But it's going to be obviously another month before I get the opportunity to play the full game, and I feel like you guys are going to really enjoy it, because I know I did. And with that, I'm going to call it. I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you like the review. The full game comes out March 7th on all platforms. But until then, I guess we'll just have to find something else to play and satisfy whatever I'm going to be doing. But I'm going to be, as for other walkthroughs I'm doing right now or anything like that, I'm going to finish up Grand Theft Auto 5. People asked me why I never finished Far Cry 4, and I did actually, but I had to remove, or I didn't have to remove it. Some YouTube removed my last 2 videos of Far Cry 4 because of copyright for music that was played during it, because I had music playing in the background and I didn't even realize it. I had my I know I'm going to sound like a friggin' hipster like this, but I had my record player going, and YouTube took down my video. But, anyways, I really enjoyed all of this short little demo, because there's just so much packed into the demo itself that it makes me really hope for the best for this game when it comes out. So I will see you guys in the next video.